Hi everyone, this is Diogo C for gearslutz.com and this is our first show and tell video. And today I'll be showing you Izotope's Ozone 6 mastering suite. As you can see, I'm not inside the DAW, I'm using the standalone app, which is a new feature for version 6. So this allows you to do some very quick mastering, work in a very fast way. You just drag your songs, process them with the Ozone modules. You can also use audio units and VST plugins, which is nice. Each song you load has its own processing chain, as you can see. Adding modules is also quite easy. You just need to click on them, rearrange them as you wish. Okay, you can zoom in the waveform. You cannot edit the audio. You just can do some trimming of the beginning and of the end of the file. You cannot chop down the wave or do anything fancy. There's also no automation. You have some nice options for the fades. I'm just gonna stick to the linear just to chop this drumstick that I know it's here. You also have vertical zoom, of course. So I'm gonna show you the Ozone modules. There are 6 modules. You see 7 here on the screen, but the equalizer and the post equalizer are the same. I'm gonna begin with the I think it's the classic mastering combo, dynamics, equalizer, and maximizer, which is the limiter. I'm gonna start kind of loud here, -4. Ozone always had a reputation for a very loud limiter. It's not different this time around. Okay, equalizer, dynamics. You can have up to 4 bands. You also have sidechain, high pass or tilt, which is nice. I'm not gonna use any of those right now. This affects all the bands. It's kind of a non-issue when you're dealing with multi-band, but you can use it on wideband, which is what I'm gonna do right now. Just gonna have like a 2 dB, very gentle compression. You have 3 modes for the compressor. Each band also has dry and wet, which is cool. Independent, dry and wet. You have adaptive. Oh, I'm a bit rusty. Sorry about that. You have adaptive release and auto gain. For the dynamics module, it affects all the bands as well. Speaking of auto gain, please pay attention to this bypass and this little ear and the on-off switches. I'm gonna be pressing this a lot when we play audio. When I play audio for you, yeah, that's better. This little ear is very nice because it matches the levels, the process levels with the non-process level, which is nice. So you can really compare the processing you're doing, the equalizing, the compression and everything with the bypass signal. It raises the signal in most situations, of course, so you can really evaluate things with the proper levels. Okay, I have the -4 dB here, as you already saw. I'm gonna play with the EQ and the dynamics. The EQ, I'm gonna be using the analog mode. Analog doesn't stand for saturation or anything. You actually have some very gentle saturation here on the EQ options. I'm gonna leave it off because it's very subtle, but analog stands for minimum phase. You have digital, which stands for linear phase. The linear phase is nice because you can mix linear phase with minimum phase with this slider. You also have a surgical mode when using the linear phase. Last but not least, you have the matching EQ, where you can grab the spectrum of a song and apply it to the other. I'm not gonna go in depth here. This is a subject worth exploring on its own. So I'm just gonna stick to the analog mode, set a high pass. I have 8 bands here. I'm not gonna use all of them, probably. So enough talking. Let's do some audio. Once again, pay attention to the on-off buttons. They are all around Ozone. You have a lot of them. And please pay attention to the bypass and the little ear, which matches the level. Okay, Ozone 6, here we go.
About the poor anymore, which is really a shame. We could use a couple more, cause we're tired of hearing about limos and jets, $200 ties and $1 million pets. So let's raise a glass to the salt of the earth, not that ass in first class, enjoying the perks. Some praise for the maids who cleaned up the rooms after they were trashed by the late Keith Moon, or the guy who fixed the TV, the Elvis shot, the nanny who watched his kids while McCartney scored pot, the stagehand who put out the guitar that Hendrix set on fire in the swamps of Jersey. Someone changed Springsteen's tires. Let this be the start of our revolution. Let this be the day that we take it all back. Let the writing on the wall be our manifesto. Let this be the day we go on the attack. They call it the prisoner cinema, these films that you see in your mind.
Yeah, very nice, very clean stuff. Everything here is very clean, besides the exciter module, which I'll show you later on. But the equalizer, it's an amazing equalizer. Really like this equalizer. Ton of options. You have stereo, mid-side, dual mono. That can be linked or unlinked. Just a ton of curves, band shelves. Some people call it flat tops. You have some really nice shelves as well. You have this vintage, which is kind of a Potec. Let me show you this one. Kind of a Potec curve with this little dip here. I'm gonna raise the Q to increase the dip. Let's listen to this one. This one is awesome. Not a very good part to evaluate the bass, so I'm gonna play it again, turn it on, turn it off. Really nice. The dynamics are also very clean, very transparent. The auto gain is nice. It kind of bumps the level a little bit, so be careful with this. Last but not least, the maximizer, which is also very clean, very transparent. You have all these modes here, from slow to fast. It can be linked and unlinked in terms of stereo. And you also have this transient emphasis, which can let some transients pass through the limiting processing, preserving a lot of these transients. You also have some cool stuff here when navigating the song. Ozone tries to find some regions so you can quickly browse to the song. Okay, gonna play this section here.
This be the start of our revolution.
Very nice. Now this section.
Let the prisoners.
Okay, so moving on. Next song. Now I'm gonna show you the exciter module, which just like the multi-band has the dynamic. Sorry, has 4 bands. The imager module, which I'm gonna show you later, also has 4 bands. All really nice. You have all these modes, some tube modes here, tape mode, retro mode, warm mode. There's a nice tooltip system here, so you just hover the mouse cursor, even harmonics, transistor-like harmonics, and so on. Okay, I'm gonna do the same thing, bring the limiter a little bit here. There are quite some options here to be explored. Each one of them can suit a style better than the other, can handle some loudness situations better than others. I'm gonna stick to the basics here. I'm not really doing anything great in terms of sonics. This is just to show you. Please grab the demo at izotope.com. There's a 14-day fully functional trial available. Okay, I'm gonna play a part here, which is a very clean part, like a clarinet with a string section and some vocals to show you the saturation. I'm gonna take out the EQ by now. Just handle some limiting here to bring the levels. I'm gonna leave it on the transparent. I'm not doing any limiting here. The peaks aren't getting nowhere near. Tons of headroom, just the way Gears Lutz loves it. And I'm gonna stick to fewer bands here. Gonna stick to 2. Like I said, the part I'm gonna play is kind of simple, so I'm gonna saturate the voice a little bit. I'm gonna start with the warm mode. Okay, let's go.
Back to life again. Back up on the corner spot, either on the block, back on the mic again. Ghosts in your soul, still just a liking it. Still feel the world in my face and it's still frightening. Lush Vita Supreme with Jupiter was still a dream. And the gas giant, last of the Ibrahims, last of the Philistines. Everybody still alive, ghosts in the kerosene. Celebrate the Elohim, whatever you wanted, I gave it to you readily. My head is full of ghosts, science is ahead of me. Melody in the atoms vibrating and they telling me it's still possible. But I'm tired, the drive dead in me. Resurrect the legacy and I'ma be there. My sister gonna be there, my mother gonna be there. The bird's gonna be there, the bird's gonna be there, the bird's gonna be there.
I started with the warm mode, but it was way too subtle for the section, so I suited the tape mode. You could notice immediately it's very different. By the way, the modes are global. They affect all bands. This is a nice exciter, a nice addition to Ozone. You can really do some more soft stuff with it, but you can also get quite heavy-handed. I'm gonna play the section again. This time I'm gonna switch between retro and the tube, triode, duo triode. Okay, I'm gonna start with tube.
Back to life again. Back up on the corner spot, either on the block, back on the mic again. Ghosts in your soul, still just a liking it. Still feel the world in my face and it's still frightening. Lush Vita Supreme with Jupiter was still a dream. And the gas giant, last of the Ibrahims, last of the Philistines. Everybody's still alive, ghosts in the kerosene. Celebrate the Elohim, whatever you wanted, I gave it to you readily. My head is full of ghosts, science is ahead of me. Melody in the atoms vibrating and they telling me it's still possible. But I'm tired, the drive dead in me. Resurrect the legacy and I'ma be there. My sister gonna be there, my mother gonna be there. The bird's gonna be there, the bird's gonna be there, the bird's gonna be there.
Sorry about the clipping. Ozone sometimes clips because it has to match the loud levels. So it happens. Okay, moving on. I'm gonna show you the imager now in the dynamic EQ, which is a part of the advanced version of Ozone. I'm gonna talk more about the differences between advanced version and standard version on my written review. So the link for it is in the video's description. Please make sure to read it. It's very nice. Yeah. And I talk about all these little things that I'm not talking about here because I have to show you the sonics. So dynamic EQ and imager. This is a kind of atmospheric song, but it's a rock song at the same time. Atmospheric rock, I think that it exists. So I'm gonna do 3 bands. I'm gonna narrow the low end and expand a little bit of the mid-range and a little more on the top end. And with the dynamic EQ, I'm gonna do something like a de-esser, just something very basic. This is a very nice dynamic EQ, very transparent. I'm gonna use the stereoize. I don't think that's the right way to say it. You guys can tell me in the comments. By the way, hit me up at the comments if you have any questions. If you have any requests for us, I'll do my best to address everyone. Okay, imager, dynamic EQ, I'm gonna do the same. I'm gonna use the tube mode, which is a new feature. Bring the ceiling down a little bit to cue any peaks. Turn on true peak limiting as well. This is very slow, a very slow character, so I'm gonna use the fast mode. Okay, imager, dynamic EQ, go.
Show me soft skin. Our bellies were full. Said you'd found strength in the ground below. Caught yourself laughing while death called your name. The priest broke circling above your home.
Very nice to handle the hi-hat and some of the voice. Very clean dynamic EQ. So that's it, guys. I hope this was helpful to you. Please subscribe to our channel. Once again, hit me up at the comments if you have any requests, any questions. I would like to thank the Shaking True guys for giving us these amazing songs to work. The link for the project is in the video description. Please support these guys. They're making amazing stuff. Very nice music, as you could hear. Okay, thanks everybody. This was Diogo C for gearsless.com. Show and tell video. See ya. Bye.